Hi, in today's video we're going to talk about sliding volume controls and tone controls on a NuTone IM4006 Master Station. Yesterday I spoke to Debbie in Oregon, and she has an IM4006 Master Station in her house, and she only really has two small problems with it. One problem is the hinges that allow the bottom edge doors to open and close have broken off, so the doors continually fall off. And I've already made a video about replacing the hinges on the doors, which you can find on our YouTube channel. And even though the actual little hinges are no longer available from NuTone, we've had replacement hinges redesigned, and we have them 3D printed, and they're available to buy if you contact us. The other problem she has with her set is the sliding master speaker volume control. It's become stiff, and basically she can't move it any longer. Now this unit belongs to a different customer, and they sent it in to have it rebuilt, and I'm going to use it as my example on our mock-up today. So you'll see on the tone control, I'm just pushing it gently with one finger, and it easily slides back and forth. It could be a little better, but it's not too bad. The master speaker volume is typically the biggest problem on an IM4006. So I'm going to push it with my finger and use about the same amount of pressure, and you'll see it doesn't really want to move. It's more bending than it is sliding. So why does that happen? Well, let's take a look at the actual circuit board. So this is the master control board or main control board of an IM4006. This circuit board, which has the sliding volume controls on it, sits behind the faceplate right in this area. So you have the master speaker volume control, the tone control, the inside patio talk push button, the door talk push button, the end call push button, the radio on and off switch, and the little red LED light that's right here. So as an example, I'm going to show you why the volume controls become hard to move. So here's our master control board, and here's our master speaker volume sliding control and our tone control. And you can see that these are technically called fader controls. Fader controls are volume pots that slide back and forth, and they're made out of metal, and they're soldered to the circuit board. And you can see that in the top of each one there's a slot, and the slot allows the sliding portion to move right and left, which increases or decreases the volume, or raises or lowers the tone. Since these are open, over the years dirt and dust will make its way down inside the slot and get inside the control. And when these controls were manufactured, they put what's called a dielectric grease or dielectric jelly in them. It helps prevent corrosion. It allows the control to slide easily. It looks a lot like Vaseline, but it's not. So what happens is, over the years, as the dirt and dust make its way down into the slot and you move the control back and forth, the dirt and dust gets mixed in with the dielectric jelly, and the dielectric jelly over the years tends to dry out and harden up, and pretty soon the control doesn't want to move anymore. Now, when this is installed in the master station, there are actually these little plastic volume slides that are attached on it. This one with the large offset goes on the master volume control, and it has a slot in it, and it slips down over the stem of the control. And this smaller one with a very small offset fits on the tone control. What tends to happen is, as the controls become harder and harder to slide, you have to push the stem harder and harder to make it slide, And as you saw on our mock-up, as you push it and there's a lot of resistance to it sliding, it tends to want to twist to the side. And after you've done that for many years, what will eventually happen is the plastic stem right here, the part that protrudes through the faceplate, will break off and you end up with something like this. Let me take this one off. And you can see there's quite a difference in the length of the stem that has the chrome knob on it. This one was broken off even with the faceplate and the knob was missing. So how do we solve this? Well, I'm going to show you what would be considered a halfway measure. It's not the fully correct way to solve the problem. To solve the problem completely, when a customer sends their 4006 into our shop for repair and we rebuild this control board, these volume controls are thoroughly cleaned and re-lubricated, and when we get done they work virtually like brand new. You can't do that level of cleaning while this board is still mounted in the faceplate. There is a usable halfway measure that will allow Debbie to temporarily clean her control so it will slide again, and that way she can put off having to send the Master Station into us until it needs a greater amount of repair. So what are we going to do? How are we going to clean this? Well, first we need to know what to clean it with. And as with most volume controls on NuTone intercom systems, we're going to use our Deoxit D5 cleaner. It's a good choice. If you happen to have purchased some Deoxit F5 fader cleaner, that's a good choice also. Or you can do a combination. It's kind of expensive to buy both cans just to clean one volume control. So perhaps if you buy the D5, which is the most general purpose cleaner that you can get, you can do the master volume control, and then you can watch our other videos and clean the volume controls and push buttons on your remote speakers also. So how do we do this? Okay, this is how you don't do it. You don't put the little red nozzle on the spray can and stuff it into the slot through the faceplate and spray wildly and get cleaner all over the inside of the intercom. What you have to do is you have to open up the Master Station. So we're going to do that first. And just like always, you remove the two screws in the faceplate, and the Master Station will tilt down, giving you access to the back of the unit. So in this example mock-up installation, this IM4006 has a chime module mounted at the end of the speaker bracket. This needs to be removed so you can have better access to the volume control on the main circuit board. So there's a screw which you can access through the hole in the cardboard insulator. All you have to do is loosen the screw, remove it, and lift the chime module out of its bracket. Now what you can see is in this area right here is the volume control on the main board that I showed you in the previous shot. It's the same as this one right here, only now it's mounted down in the faceplate. So here's a close-up shot of the volume control, and right here is the slot that I showed you in the board that I had out of a set. This is where we're going to spray the cleaner. So what you want to do is take your Deoxit D5, probably out of focus, and insert the red tube into the slot and spray the littlest bit of the cleaner that you possibly can. Just like that. Now you can carefully slide the control, and a lot of the resistance is now gone. So once you've been able to slide it back and forth a couple times, spray a little bit more in and slide it again. If you happen to have the Deoxit Fader F5, spray a little bit of that in the slot. The F5 has a lubricant in it, and it will make it slide easier than just the D5 does. Alright, so now we've sprayed it, and you can actually see, if you look right here, this black plastic piece, that's the offset knob bracket that I showed you, the ones that get broken off. And as I slide the control to the right, it disappears, and as I slide it back to the left, it reappears. That's connected to the knob on the faceplate. So now we're going to go ahead and close the mount. Alright, so we have our IM4006 closed back up. I put the screws back in the faceplate to hold it in place, and we've cleaned the master speaker volume control. The tone control is much harder to reach, and if it moves reasonably well, I would just leave it alone. Master speaker volume, before, it was very stiff and didn't really want to move. So let me show you the proper way to operate it now that it's been cleaned. Since this type of cleaning is a short-term solution, it's not perfect, but it's not too bad. The problem you can get into is if you just try to push it from one side with your finger, it's still rather hard to move. A lot of that is because there's still a lot of internal resistance inside the volume control, and when you push the knob, it tends to want to rock to the side and twist instead of actually just slide back and forth. So once you've cleaned it, the best way to operate it is to hold the silver knob with two fingers, one on each side, and carefully slide it back and forth. This gives the sliding control more support. It makes it easier to adjust. It doesn't put additional stress on the plastic standoff that the knob is connected to, and so your plastic standoff hopefully won't break off like this one did, and then you have a bigger problem. Replacing the standoff is more difficult and not something that most people can easily do. So I hope this helps Debbie clean her volume control. I hope it helps the rest of you if you have this type of problem. If you found this video to be helpful, please like it on our YouTube channel. If you think this video would be helpful to others, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribing to our YouTube channel will raise our YouTube search results, which means other people will find our videos and it can help them also. See you next time.